Hi you all, how you all doing? Welcome to Karen Vibes, reading for the mature audience. Happy Labor Day. Well, today's my special day. Today's my birthday. So just having a quiet day and just giving thanks. It's a awesome feeling to live to see another milestone. So have to give thanks. Always have to give thanks. I'm giving thanks to see another milestone today. Hope you're all okay despite the challenges around us. So we're back, folks. I'm dying to finish reading this book. So they have another interesting book, super interesting book that I wanna read, and so I just need to get this book finished. But we'll soon be finished. We're getting there. We're actually in the middle of it, and I know it's my fault because I've taken so long in finishing it. But it is what it is. So we're just gonna get straight into it. So the name of the book is Flowers in the Attic, and it's written by Virginia Andrews and narrated by moi, Karen. So we're still at chapter 13 and we're just gonna go straight into it. So welcome again, folks, to Karen Vibes, reading for the mature audience. You can find me on YouTube, and you can, if you haven't been listening to me, you can just go on YouTube and catch on, follow on. So let's just get into it. So we had stopped at where the twins had got their meal, and they were saying that they don't like lumpy, grainy. The sweet potatoes were lumpy and grainy. So that's where we had stopped. So let's just continue. I guess between the two of them, sitting across from one another, fussily stirring the food into mishmash, they managed to put away 3 or 4 ounces of food. While Chris was longing for dessert, which was pumpkin pie, or mincemeat pie, I began to clear away the table. Then, for some reason extraordinary, Chris began to help. I couldn't believe it. He smiled at me disarmingly and even kissed my cheeks. And boy, if good food could do that for a man, I was all for learning gourmet cooking. Wow. He even picked up his socks before he came to help me wash and dry the dishes, glasses, and silverware. 10 minutes after Chris and I had everything neatly stored away under the table and covered over with the clean towel, the twins simultaneously announced, we're hungry, our stomachs hurt." Chris read on at his desk. I got up from the bed after laying aside Lorna Doone, and without saying one word, I gave to each of the twins a peanut butter and jelly sandwich from the picnic basket. As they ate, taking tiny bites, I threw myself down on the bed and watched them with real puzzlement. Why did they enjoy that junk? Being a parent wasn't easy at all, as I used to presume, nor was it such a delight. "Don't sit on the floor, Corey. It's colder down there than in a chair." Don't like chairs," said Corey. Then he sneezed. The very next day, Corey came down with a severe cold. His small face was red and hot. He complained that he ached all over and his bones hurt. Kathy, where is my mommy? My real mommy." Oh, how he wanted his mother. Finally, she did show up. Immediately, she became anxious as she viewed Corey's flushed face, and she rushed away to fetch a thermometer. Unhappily, she returned, trailed by the detested grandmother. While the slim stem of glass, with the slim stem of glass in his mouth, Corey stared up at his mother, as if at a golden angel come to save him in his time of distress. And I, his pretend mother, was forgotten. "Sweetheart, darling baby," she crooned. and she picked him up from the bed and carried him to the rocker, where she sat down to put kisses on his brow. I'm here, darling. I love you. I'm here. I'll take care of you and make the pains go away. Just eat your meals and drink your orange juice like a good little boy, and soon you'll be well. She put him to bed again and hovered over him before she popped an aspirin into his mouth and gave him water to swallow it down. Her blue eyes were misted over with troubled tears, and her slim white hands worked nervously. I narrowed my eyes as I watched her eyes closed, and her lips move as if in silent prayer. 2 days later, Carrie was in the bed beside Corey, sneezing and coughing too, and her temperature raged upwards with terrifying swiftness, enough to panic me. Chris looked scared too, listless and pale. The two of them lay side by side in the big bed, with little fingers clutching the covers high under their rounded chins. They seemed made of porcelain. They were so waxy white, and their blue eyes grew larger and larger as they sank deeper and deeper into their skulls. Dark shadows came under their eyes to make them seem haunted children. When our mother wasn't there, those two sets of eyes pleaded mutely with Chris and me to do something, anything, to make their misery go away. Mommy took a week off from the secretarial school so she could be with her twins as much as possible. I hated it that the grandmother felt it so necessary to trail after her every time she showed up, always putting her nose in where it didn't belong, and her advice when we didn't want her advice. Already, she told us we didn't exist and had no right to be alive on God's earth, save for those saintly and pure like herself. Did she come merely to distress us more and take us from the comfort of having our mother to ourselves? The whisper of her menacing, gray dresses, the sound of her voice, the tread of her heavy feet, the sight of her huge pale hands, soft and puffy, flashing with diamond rings and spotted brown with dyeing pigment. Oh yes, just to see her was to loathe her. Then there was our mother, rushing to us often, doing what she could to help the twins back to health. Shadows were under her eyes too, as she gave the twins aspirins and water, and later on orange juice and hot chicken soup. One morning, Mommy rushed in carrying a big thermos of orange juice she had just squeezed. It's better than the frozen or canned kind, she explained. It's full of vitamin C and A, and that's good for colds. Next, she listed what she wanted Chris and me to do, saying that Chris and I were to give orange juice often. We stored the thermos on the attic steps, as good as any refrigerator in the winter time. One glance at the thermometer from Carrie's lips, and a frenzied panic blew away all of Mummy's cool. Oh God, she cried out in distress. 103.6. I have to take them to a doctor, a hospital. I was before the heavy dresser, holding to it lightly with one hand and exercising my legs, as I did each day. Now that the attic was too cold to limber up in, I threw my grandmother a quick glance, trying to read her reactions to this. The grandmother had no patience for those who lost control and made waves. Don't be ridiculous, Corinne. All children run high fevers when they are sick. It doesn't mean a thing. You should know that by now. A cold is just a cold. Chris, jerked his head up from the book he was pursuing. He believed the twins had the flu, though how they had caught the virus he couldn't guess. The grandmother continued, "Doctors, what do they know about curing a cold? We know just as much. There are only three things to do. One, stay in bed. Two, drink lots of liquids. And three, take aspirins. What else? And aren't we doing all of those things?" She flashed me a mean look. "Stop swinging your legs, girl. You make me nervous." Again, she directed her eyes and her words at our mother. Now, my mother had a saying: colds take 3 days coming, 3 days staying, and 3 days leaving. "What if they have the flu?" asked Chris. The grandmother turned her back and ignored his question. She didn't like his face. He resembled our father too much. "I hate it when people who should know better question those who are older and far wiser." Just a second, folks. The door banged a while ago. I should have shut it earlier. Where did we reach? Right, let's just read back from here. "What if they have the flu?" asked Chris. The grandmother turned her back and ignored his question. She didn't like his face. He resembled our father too much. "I hate it when people who should know better question those who are older and far wiser. Everyone knows the rule for colds. 6 days to start and stay, and 3 to leave. That's the way it is. They'll recover." As the grandmother predicted, the twins recovered. Not in 9 days, in 19 days. Only bed rest, aspirins, and fluid did the trick. No prescriptions from a doctor. No prescriptions from a doctor to help them back to health more quickly. By the day, the twins stayed in the same bed. By night, Carrie slept with me and Corey with his brother. I don't know why Chris and I didn't come down with the same thing. All night long, we jumped up and down to run for water, for orange juice. For orange juice kept cold on the attic stairs. They cried for cookies. They cried for mommy. They cried for something to unstop their nostrils. They tossed and fretted, weak and uneasy. They worried by bothersome things they couldn't express, except by large tearful eyes and that tore at my heart. They asked questions while they were sick that they didn't ask while they were well. And wasn't that odd? Why do we stay upstairs all the time? Has downstairs gone away? Did it go where the sun hides? Don't mommy like us no more? Anymore? I corrected. Why are the walls fuzzy? Are they fuzzy? I asked in return. Chris, he looks fuzzy too. Chris is tired. Are you tired, Chris? Kinda. I'd like for you both to go to sleep and stop asking so many questions. And Kathy's tired too. We'd both like to go to sleep. And know the two of you are sleeping soundly too. We don't sound when we sleep. Chris sighed. He picked up Corey and carried him over to the rocker, and soon Carrie and I were seated on his lap. There we rocked back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, telling stories at 3 o'clock in the morning. We read stories on other nights till 4 in the morning, if they cried and wanted mommy, as they insistently did. Chris and I acted as mother and father, and did what we could to soothe them with soft lullabies. We rocked so much the floorboards started to creak, and surely below someone could have heard. And all the while we heard the wind blowing through the hills. It scraped the skeleton tree branches and squeaked the house and whispered of death and dying. And in the cracks and crevices it howled, moaned, sobbed, and sought in all ways to make us aware we weren't safe. So we stop right there, folks. This really a sad book, really sad. But we will be back on tomorrow. Definitely we will be back. I have a very interesting book I want to read after this, and I'm sure you folks are gonna love it. So I wanna hurry up and finish to read this book. So thanks again, folks, for tuning in, for listening. You folks enjoy the rest of the Labor Day. Don't know, quite a few people have been doing the little Labor Day projects. I didn't do much today in terms of being in the yard. Did some washing and stuff. So tomorrow I'll get some other stuff done. And I have some other projects that I'm working on. Anyhow, remember to like, subscribe, and share. You can find my page on YouTube, which is Karen Vibes, KRENVIBES, and that's with an exclamation sign. And you can follow my stories and follow what I've been reading so far. Boy, after a time my hair makes my neck so hot. I'm gonna have to pin it up. Probably cut my hair one day. I think I need to change my hairstyle. Well, that's a hairstyle, because the reason why I lock my hair is, identify with your blackness, your Africanness. One of the reasons why I locked my hair. But sometimes it gets really hot. Makes my neck hot. Anyhow, I'm gonna pin it up shortly. Folks, thank you. You folks have an awesome evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. So peace out. Please remember to go on my tea shop, K Spicy Teas. I did post the link to the shop, so you can go on and make your purchase, and you'll get 1 or 2 boxes of tea free. Alright folks, peace out, take care.